Welcome back, and we're on our 6th video. We went ahead and reset everything, and what I want to do is I want to look around, and we've got our basically, if we move up here, we've got our get at 21.7825 right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to check everything else and go ahead and click on set, and you can see that now I can move those around, and we're going to go ahead and set that one, and just make sure you separate them if they go over top of each other, and this one here, and set. Okay, so we do have some issues here, meaning that some of these can be overlaid, but it looks like these right here are going over, and that can't happen. So can I go beyond that area there? So I've got to scale those down just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select both of them at the same time and just scale those two down so they fit within the UV space. Unfortunately, that's what happens. So they do have to fit within there, so you just got to make sure they're within and they can't cross over. And here's the thing with UDIMs: if you cross over just a little bit, see, that's okay. See how close I am? They can get close, but it cannot go over. It cannot go over the top of that UV. Okay, all right. So what we do now is we just kind of get the rest of these moved in and pack those any way you like. Okay, and so I'm going to do that with the rest of the scene. Just got to make sure they don't touch each other, and they don't go outside of the UV space. That's the key. Okay, I think those are good. It's not going outside, and these might be a trip here to get in there. So I might have to overlap these. I think that's okay. They're going to be the same material anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and overlap those. I don't think that's going to cause a problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing for all of these. I'm going to select them, set, and then to move them around and then continue down the line. So I'm going to... Okay, now we've got... I came back and I've got everything everything's set right. And the highest we could go was 21 because we had some pieces that were going out. This piece right here was getting pretty big. So this is what I have set up. And all these, I've got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different materials. I'm not going to count this one, so 13. But what you have to do is once you get everything in the UVs, they cannot go outside. You got to make sure none of these go outside of the UV space. They all have to fit within the UV space, and you can see every one of mine. There's some that comes close, but all of them are the same. Okay, this one comes close too as well, but doesn't go out. Okay, that's key. If they go out, UDIMs, it won't work. You have to watch out for the long ones too. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is everything's set up correctly. All I have to do now is right click over this and go into selection mode, object mode, and you can see that I've got everything all set up and ready to go. Here's my final piece, and here's my final UVs. Now we've got to actually set and do a snapshot. So everything's looking good. We're on select mode, and we're going to click on the snapshot. And so a snapshot, as long as you set your project, it'll take you to the project source images folder. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with the highest format. Now I don't usually like using PNG, but because you have to put a background behind it, so I'm going to go in here because PNG pulls the transparency maps. So I usually tell my students to use Targa, and it's just as clean. We're going to do 4094, should be 4096. 4096, that's unusual. 4096 by 4096. Okay, here's the cool part. So it's U1 to V1. What we're going to do is we're telling it that we're going across this way. So UDIMS works this way. So we're going to tell it that we got to go 14. So we're going to go 14 across. It's going to give it its own ID map, and the V will just be 1. So U is going across this way, okay, and V going this way. All right. So basically, U is horizontal, V is vertical. Why they call it U, I'm not quite sure. It's all mathematical, but that's what we need to put in here. That's the key. That's how you do UDIMS. And then when you go to browse, you can tell it where to go. Of course, I want it to go to source images, not images folder. And in here, I'm going to type in headset. We've gone a long ways just to get to this point. Headset. And I'm going to do underscore UV underscore TX. And those are my UVs. So I'm going to save that. And click apply and close. And it's saving my UDIMS. It's taking in consideration of all the UDIM spaces that I have. Again, don't make a mistake, because it will only give you what you, so it's 10 across, 11, 12, 13, 14, so I got 14. So I'm going to go ahead and close. And because we spent so much time on this, I'm going to go ahead and do Control 1, bring everything back in. And if you do each piece, it shouldn't take you as long as the first one takes. And if you have separate pieces, like this, won't take long at all. So I'll try to get as many videos as I can out there, but I want you to move forward as fast as you possibly can. And I do want you to use UDIMS. Now, if you've already got your character all UV mapped, you can still use UDIMS. You can still break things apart and use UDIMS. You don't have to. I'm not going to force you, but it does make things a lot easier for you when you are using Substance Painter. So the next video I have, the next series, which will come on Monday, will be the series on Substance Painter and how to get the materials on there and bringing them back into Maya and seeing them. So anyway, this will be it for now, for Sunday, and we'll talk to you soon.